In this lecture, we will discuss the various types of bookkeepers that you will typically find in the workplace. Earlier, I shared with you the all-inclusive duties and responsibilities of a bookkeeper. But normally, organizations employ several accounting personnel to support the needs of their department, and that's what we will discuss in this lecture. For example, I will share with you the roles and responsibilities of an accounts payable bookkeeper, a payroll bookkeeper, accounts receivable bookkeeper, accounting clerk, audit clerk, and the full charge bookkeeper. So, let's explore each one of them. Let's start with the accounts payable bookkeeper. For starters, the accounts payable bookkeeper's primary role is to deal with the vendors and suppliers of the company. The role requires the day-to-day data entry to create, maintain, and update vendor accounts and pay company bills. Duties and responsibilities also include data entry, receiving and processing bills from suppliers, preparing payment vouchers for approval and entry into the accounting software like QuickBooks, updating vendor accounts, posting bills, invoices to the accounts payable ledger, and obtaining approval on bill payment, paying bills, writing checks, and performing account reconciliations in case there are any discrepancies. In this role, the bookkeeper may be required to prepare and maintain the aging of accounts payable analysis to identify and monitor the cash needs of the company. If an outsider is looking to collect unpaid bills owed by the organization, the accounts payable clerk is the first person that they contact. Next, let's talk about accounts receivable bookkeeper. The primary function of an accounts receivable bookkeeper is to work with customers to ensure that customers are invoiced properly and timely for goods sold and services rendered, to ensure that customers pay outstanding invoices timely and that these transactions are properly recorded. Job duties also include data entry to create, maintain, and update customer accounts and post customer-related transactions. Creating and sending invoices via email or mail and recording and applying daily cash receipts to individual customers' accounts is also one of the major responsibilities of an accounts receivable bookkeeper. Maintaining the aging of accounts receivable schedule of the company and collecting balances owed by the customers. Projecting cash flows may also be a report that this type of bookkeeper will be required to prepare based on the individual's knowledge of customers' paying behavior. Customers generally speak with the accounts receivable bookkeeper to resolve disputed invoices and make payment arrangements. Therefore, customer service skills are highly preferred in this role. Now, let's talk about the duties and responsibilities of a payroll bookkeeper. The primary role of the payroll bookkeeper is to deal with employees to ensure that payroll expenses incurred by the company are accurate and in accordance with employment agreement in place, and ensure that employees are paid accurately and timely according to company policy. Duties include data entry to compile and record employee time and payroll data, compute and post wages and deductions, and, of course, prepare the paychecks and distribute them as well. Other duties include entering new hires or terminations in the payroll system, posting changes in employees' pay, tax status, and deductions as necessary. Remember this: if the organization is small, the payroll bookkeeper may also be in charge of maintaining the human resources related employee files to keep better track of entries made in payroll. Employees who have questions regarding their paychecks or deductions, tax or otherwise, are generally advised to see the payroll bookkeeper. As the payroll bookkeeper, you may also be required to produce payroll reports for the management and prepare and file required federal and state payroll tax returns for the company. Next, let's talk about an accounting or bookkeeping clerk. The accounting clerk performs any combination of compiling, calculating, recording, and posting financial transactions, compiles and sorts documents for an accounting unit or departments. Accounting clerks employed by larger companies may have more specialized tasks that are reflected in their titles, as discussed previously, like accounts payable, accounts receivable, or payroll clerk. While some organizations employ them with the required skill sets mentioned without necessarily having to work under a specific function or department. Now, let's talk about the auditing clerk. The auditing clerk is primarily responsible for checking the accuracy of recorded and reported figures and calculations in relation to the business transactions completed by other workers or departments. An audit clerk checks and verifies the mathematical accuracy of figures and postings, corrects, identifies, or notes errors for accountants or other workers to fix. An auditing clerk may be designated according to types of records being audited, like a cash auditor, inventory audit clerk, remittance, and the like, depending on the needs of the organization. Finally, we've come to the role of the full charge bookkeeper. For a small or medium-sized business, the role of a full charge bookkeeper is more complex and carries more responsibility. Imagine this. Combine all the different types of bookkeepers that we've discussed so far, like the accounts payable, accounts receivable, and payroll, and add to that handling all the accounting needs of the company and dealing with all the stakeholders of the organization, such as the customers, vendors, employees, and management. This is the scope of a full charge bookkeeper's responsibility. A full charge bookkeeper is responsible for the recording and reporting process of the company's entire operations financially. In some cases, duties include the preparation of financial statements as well. This role and title is most often found in small to mid-sized companies that don't need an accountant or a controller. A full charge bookkeeper generally reports directly to the owner of the company or the highest manager. And the full charge bookkeeper maintains a relationship with the external certified public accountant retained by the company for tax filings and other regulatory requirements and the preparation of financial statements at year-end. So, let's recap. In this lecture, we discussed the different types of bookkeepers such as accounts payable, accounts receivable, payroll, accounting clerk, auditing clerk, and the full charge bookkeeper.